Hey, welcome to day 6, 7. I recorded one on the weekend, so this is day 7 of our Corona Yoga series. Tomorrow, I will be teaching a more basics class on request of some friends and family that I make it a little easier. So I'm thinking every Tuesday will be basics from now on, a more beginner class. Still really hard. But just so you know, if you're looking for the more difficult classes, maybe go back to the past ones after tomorrow. And yeah, let me know if you've been liking having music in classes or not. It's hard for me to tell. So just shoot over a message or a comment. So let us begin by laying on our backs in this sort of bridge position with our feet on the ground. And place both hands on your belly. We'll begin with a 4-part breath. First, just taking a few breaths in and out. Noticing how your breath moves your belly, or maybe it doesn't. Can you try to send the breath a little more into the sides of the waist and the belly? And then beginning with our 4-part breath. So taking a nice inhale in. Holding your breath in at the very top. Feeling yourself completely full of air, of energy. And then exhaling all your air out. And at the very bottom of your exhale, part 4 of the breath, hold out the exhale. Feeling yourself completely empty. And inhaling back in. Hold the breath at the top. Exhaling the breath out. Holding the breath out at the bottom. Inhaling back in. Holding the breath in at the top. And exhaling out. Holding the breath out at the bottom. Do about 3 or 4 more rounds on your own. I love this 4-part breath because it kind of feels like getting ricocheted in between the parts of your body. Kind of like how during this entire coronavirus period, it feels like we're getting ricocheted between gratitude and panic. And so through your breath, can you practice what it feels like to be completely full of all your energy, all the oxygen you'll need for the next few moments? And at the bottom of your exhales, can you feel like what it feels to be completely empty? Empty but okay. 1 more round on your own. And bring your hands to your heart, placing them on top of each other. And plant an intention down there through your hands into your heart. Maybe it's an intention for the rest of your day, a way of being you would like to embody. Maybe it's a prayer for another. Your eyes can stay closed or gently flutter them open. Place your left hand on top of your right, and on an inhale, extend your arms towards the ground behind you overhead. And on an exhale, bring your hands back down towards your pubic bone and your navel. This may seem like you're doing nothing, but press the back of the hand into the front of the other hand. So you're resisting this movement as you're going. And see if you could keep the back of your ribs touching the ground. So you're really working just on the range of motion in your shoulder and not using some range of motion in your thoracic spine or your mid back to try to make up for what your shoulder lacks here. Inhaling as the arms reach back, pressing hands into each other. Exhaling as the hands come back down. Switching which hand is on top for another 5 or so here. Using this nice eccentric lengthening in your shoulders to help open up your lats, your armpits. Lovely. And since if you're like me and you've been doing a lot of sitting this morning, let's also reset our sacroiliac joints. So bring your knees right over your hips here, and hands come to outer thighs. Pushing with about 40% of your effort, press your legs out into your hands for 3, 2, 1. Bring 2 fists side by side in between your legs, pressing in there for 3, 2, 1. Move back out to the outside, press out for 3, 2, 1. Inside, press in for 3, 2, 1. Do one more on your own breath, your own count. Lovely. Then grab behind the right thigh, extend the left leg on the ground in front of you. Rolling out your right ankle, extend the right leg up to the sky. See if you could keep a little space in your low back here. So we're not doing a low back stretch. We're making sure this stays in the hamstring. Roll your foot the opposite direction. Lovely. Then keeping the leg straight-ish, roll the right leg over to the left, coming into a spinal twist here. This feels like too much on your right shoulder. You could bring the right fingertips to the right shoulder, bringing this more into the spine and less into the shoulder girdle. Allowing your body to be warmed up through your breath here as there's more static movement. Even on the ground here, can you feel like your left foot is pressing into an imaginary ground away from you as the crown of your head grows up long, tall, and away from the foot? Inhaling, bring the left leg back up to the middle. Switching sides, grab behind the left thigh, right leg extends out in front of you. Left leg straightens up towards the sky, roll the ankles out in one direction. And then roll it out in the other. Pausing anywhere where it feels sticky, taking a few little rolls in that area, mobilizing your own ankle here. Lovely. And on an exhale, left leg comes to the right side of the body. Twisting open, arm opens up towards the left-hand side. And breathe into the differences between the two sides of your body. Instead of trying to classify and put your body in a box like tight or strong or ooh or ow, can you just let your body teach you something? Let your body do what it wants to do here. Let it talk as loud as it's been wanting to talk to you. On an inhale, left leg lifts back up to the sky. Bringing both legs up to the sky, bring your hands behind your head. Pressing your head into your hands, on an exhale, lift up halfway. Exhaling, feel the belly button come down towards the spine. Rise up a little higher, and then come all the way back down towards the ground. Take a breath in. On an exhale, lift halfway up. Take a breath in. Exhaling, lift the other halfway. And lower all the way to the ground. 3 more like this with your own breath. On exhales, lifting, and on inhales, holding where you are. Making sure that on your inhales, you see that belly coming down towards the spine, so it's not poofing up towards the ceiling. When you're done with those three, make your way onto all fours, hands and knees. I'm coming right into a few rounds of cat-cow for yourself here. Inviting in first just wild movement. Perhaps you've been inside all weekend. What? None of us have. But just begin to move your spine and your body in ways that you haven't for the last few days. Maybe wagging your head and tail back and forth. You're taking circles with your hips or your ribs. And then settle down into your all fours. Alternating between this chaos and this stability here, lift the right leg back. Feel like you're pressing the right foot into the wall behind you. Both hip points point and face the ground. Left arm reaches out in front of you. Feel like you're clapping a hand in the center of your body with that left arm. That's how much the left arm is hugging and engaging in towards the center. Option to stay here, allowing your belly to creep up towards the sky. Or on an exhale, open that right leg out to the side, bending it and bending the left arm. Inhale, extending the leg and arm long. Exhale, opening the leg and arm out. One more time with this movement if you're taking it. Inhaling, extending. Exhaling, leg and hands down. Other side, left leg reaches long back behind you. Again, take a look down at your hip here and see if you've hiked up your left hip or if you could point that bony part in the front of your hip towards the ground. Right arm maybe extends out in front of you as long as your ribs are staying knit together and didn't fall towards the ground. Option to stay here, reaching so long and strong. Or on an exhale, bend the knee, bend the elbow out towards the sides. 3 more like that if you're electing to find movement here. After your last one, bring your hand down, knee down. Coming onto the left side once again. This time, feel like you're tucking a little tennis ball behind your right knee. Keep that feeling as you just extend the foot up to the sky. Activating the back of our right leg here. Feel like you're pressing your bottom of your right foot up towards the sky. And keep that engagement as you turn your right knee towards the right side of your mat. So you're externally rotating your leg. Good. Bring the knee towards the front armpit. Then bring the knee back towards that external rotation and turn the knee to face the ground. Last one here towards internal rotation. Turn the right knee towards the left leg here. So your foot comes kind of out towards the side. Keep hugging that heel back towards your bum. And on a breath in, find that first position. Exhale, bring the leg down. Kick your left heel towards your left bum. Bring left thigh parallel towards the ground. First, just holding here, feeling what it's like to fire up the back of our leg. On an inhale, open your left knee out towards the left, external rotation. Holding it here. Then bring that left knee towards that left armpit, coming into hip flexion or just bending the hip. Inhaling, open it back out to external rotation. Then flip that thigh parallel to the ground, just neutral. Lastly, left knee comes towards the right side of the body, internal rotation, kicking the heel to the bum, so good. And then coming back to that first position, exhaling, bring it down. Tucking the toes under, inner thighs lift up and back, downward facing dog, pedal off the feet. Feeling the back of the legs already different in this downward facing dog. See, instead of just trying to send your knees into hyperextension for flexibility here, if you could feel those muscles we just activated still active in the back of your legs. So it's like your heels still want to kick your bum. Push the ground down and away from you with those arms and breathe. Exhaling, walk your feet to your hands, Uttanasana, forward fold. Taking as deep of a bend as you need in those knees to bring the fingertips to the ground. Nod the head, yes. Nod the head, no. Write your name with the top of your head and feel all the areas in your neck that are crying out to you. Learning through movement to read the story of our bodies. On an inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold back to the ground. Rooting the feet down, rise to stand, arms circle up towards the sky. Exhale, bring your hands down through your heart. Inhaling, circle your arms up to the sky, growing long in the sides of the waist. Exhale, hands down through prayer as you fold forwards. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold forwards. Root the feet down, rise to stand, arms circle up to the sky. Exhale your hands back through your heart. 2 more half sun salutations like that. Inhale, arms extend up to the sky, gathering space. Exhale, hands through your heart as you fold forwards. Inhale, lift up halfway, elongate the spine, fire the back of the body up, forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand, gather space with those arms, growing wide in the room. Exhale your hands down through your heart. 2 more on your own. If you don't remember the order, it doesn't matter. Just move with your breath and your movement. 1 breath per 1 grand gesture of movement. We'll be in standing with our eyes closed, feet about hip distance apart, rooting the feet down into the ground. With your eyes closed, feel your big toe mound, your little toe mound, and your heels equally rooting into the ground. And notice, do you stand in one foot more than the other? Can you maybe redistribute your weight and feel a redistribution further up the chain, higher up in your body as well? Keeping this nice rooting down through the legs. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Grabbing onto the right wrist, reach up and over towards the left-hand side. It doesn't matter how far you go in this movement. It just matters that you're still able to bring breath there. It just matters that you're able to listen to your body there. Inhale, come back up, grabbing onto the left wrist, reach up and over towards the right. And see if instead of sending your hips over to the left, if you could just keep them in the middle this time. Inhaling back up, grabbing onto the right wrist, reach up and over towards the left. This time, sending your hips over towards the right. Maybe bending that left leg. Just feeling how this is different, if it feels better or less productive or simply crazy. Inhaling back up to the middle, switching sides, sending the hips to the left. Inhaling back up to the middle. Exhale, fold forwards towards the ground. Walk your feet back, top of a push-up plank position. Holding here. Spread your fingers as wide as you can and press down your fingertips like little gecko hands, trying to feel the center of your palm and your wrist crease lifting up and away from the ground. Now, can you do the same with the front of your hips and your belly? Instead of collapsing down, can you feel like right underneath your belly button is trying to lift up towards the sky? The front of your hips are trying to kiss each other, narrowing your waist in. One more breath here. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Lifting the hands off the ground, roll the shoulder blades back and down, and on a breath in, lift up, keeping the hands lifted off the ground. Extend the arms behind you. See if you could press the feet down and lift up a little higher. Breathing here, crown of the head reaches long and away from you. Exhale, lower down. Hands come back towards cobra arms, right at about the armpits. Inhale, lifting up, cobra pose. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, lift for cobra, strong legs. Exhale, release. Pressing back through all fours, legs together for child's pose. And breathing here. So in our body, we store our mind. We store any of the trauma or the situations or the craziness that our mind has felt the last few weeks, or maybe years, or maybe lifetime, and we lock it somewhere away within our body. And why we come to a yoga mat is to start to tease that out and allow it to come out. So see anything that comes up in your body for you on your mat as grist for the mill, as ingredients to work with, as information to play with. Or as simply something to let go. On your next breath, come back through all fours, tucking the toes under. Just lift your knees a tiny bit off the ground. Take a look down at your pubic bone, the very front of your hips. Keep looking there as you send that pubic bone up and back, downward facing dog. Try to lift and spread your sit bones behind you. Release the neck and nod the head no. Shake the head yes. On an inhale, left leg lifts up, three-legged dog. Bend the knees, stack the left hip on top of the right. See if you could find those same hands you found in that plank position here. Freeing up the wrist, allowing the fingers to be bouncy and buoyant off your mat. On an exhale, bring your knee to your nose, holding it there. Lift the knee up a little higher, bring the belly to the sky as you step the leg through, high lunge, arms lift up overhead. I'm taking a nice big bend in the back knee because my SI joint has decided to be funky on me. So isometrically scissor those inner thighs together here. See if you could widen the right hip over towards the right. Growing the ribs long up and away from the hips. On an exhale, twist towards the left. Arms open to a T. Can you feel like your legs are scissoring together, sending the energy up through your torso and then out your arms as your arms feel like they're spreading long, far, and away from each other? Inhaling, reach the arms back up overhead, turning to the center. Exhale, right hand to the ground, left hand to the sky, twisting once again. Option to drop your right knee to the ground here for a deeper thigh stretch. Roll out your left wrist. On an exhale, release the left hand to the ground. Tuck the back toes under, Parsvottanasana, 2 straight legs. If your fingertips don't reach the ground, you can get chairs nearby to rest them on. You could try to bring them to your shin and try to isometrically press your shin into your fingers. Again, trying to widen that right hip towards the right here. On an exhale, bend the front leg, step back, top of a push-up plank position. Breath in here. Exhale, lower down halfway. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower all the way up. Raise all the way up. Breath in at the top. Exhale, lower all the way to the ground. Inhale, cobra pose, fingertips drag towards the back of the mat. Exhale, release. One more time, cobra pose, lift up, drag those hands back. Exhale, release. Press back through all fours or a plank position, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. On an inhale, right leg lifts up and back, 3-legged dog. Bending the knees, stack the hips here, if that feels all right for your body. Maybe you find that same feeling like your right heel is kicking your bum, firing up the back of that right leg. Keeping that feeling. On an exhale, bring your knee to your nose. Feel like your heel still wants to kick your butt as you hold it for 1 more breath. And on an exhale, step that leg through. High lunge, arms lift up overhead. Taking a bend in the back knee if you like. I'm really enjoying how that's helping to open up my quad a bit more. Widening the left hip towards the left. On an exhale, arms open to a T, twisting towards the right. Notice if you feel like you're leaning forward in space. Can you bring your ribs back over your hips? And feeling the crown of your head lined up right in the middle of your hips here. On an inhale, reach the arms back up overhead. Exhaling, left hand to the ground, twisting towards the right. Back knee can drop towards the ground. Roll out the right wrist. On an exhale, right hand comes down. Tuck under the back toes, straighten the front leg. You can step the back foot in a little bit so it's easier to bring the hands towards the ground. Pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. On an exhale, step your left leg forward to meet your right, Uttanasana, forward fold. Bring your legs all the way together. Bend the knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. Torso and arms lift up. Bringing your hands onto your ribs here. Bring your rib cage closer together. So we're not so much finding this arch in this pose, but we're bringing and hooking our ribs in. So we feel like there's this little sheet of paper connecting the front of our hips to the front of our ribs up top. From there, extend the arms up overhead. Bring your weight a little bit forward, lift your heels up off the ground. Squeeze the inner thighs together as the heels try to kick the bum. Staying with that nice engagement, rise up to standing. Keep the heels lifted. Exhale, lower the heels, hands through your heart. Inhale, arms rise up overhead. Exhale, bend the knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. Finding those engagements here. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift, extend the spine. Exhale, forward fold, step back, downward facing dog. Option to take a chaturanga if you like here. Inhale, left leg lifts up, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your knee to your right elbow, and then drop that left leg, foot straight on the ground towards the right-hand side. Fallen triangle, lift up with the right arm. If you're like, absolutely no way, find one point of this pose where you feel like you're in proper control here. Maybe you don't turn the torso up to the sky, maybe you don't lift up with the hips. But find 2 more breaths in a place that serves you. Exhale, bring the right hand down, step the left leg back, down dog, walk it out. Inhaling, right leg lifts up and back. Exhale, knee to the left elbow, and then straighten the leg towards the left, left arm lifts up to the sky. Finding any version of the transition into this pose that fits for your body. Exhale the left hand down, stepping back, downward facing dog. Inhaling, left leg lifts up and back. Exhale, step it through, warrior 2, rising on up. Closing your eyes here. If this is your first warrior 2 of your life, I apologize. But feel where your feet are on the ground. With where your feet are placed, does it feel like your hips are able to stack in a way that doesn't cause you any discomfort or pain? If not, maybe shimmy 1 foot closer, 1 foot further away from midline. But find somewhere for your feet where your hips feel all right. Turn the left hand up to the sky. Option to keep the eyes closed or open them. Reverse the warrior. Left fingertips lift up towards the sky behind you. And keep length in the right side of the torso. See if you could lift the right ribs away from the right hip as you extend further. And exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the ground. Coming into down dog or taking a chaturanga dandasana, lowering down through a push-up. And inhaling up to upward facing dog or cobra. On a breath in, right leg lifts up and back. Exhale, step it through, warrior two. Arms rise up to that T. And closing your eyes on this side. And using your eyes closed to better listen to the story of your body. Feeling the shape from inside of you, not from what it might look like on the outside. Does squeezing your legs in towards each other make things feel better and more free, more supported in your body? Or does pushing your feet out and away from each other do that? It's different for each of us. Turning the right hand up to the sky, exhale, reverse the warrior. Keeping the eyes open or closed. And now that you've changed the position, does pressing your feet away from each other or pulling them towards each other feel better? Learn your body. Exhaling, cartwheel the hands down to the ground. Stepping back for down dog or flowing through a vinyasa if you like. Inhale, lift the left leg up and back. Exhale, slowly bring it through. See if you can step your leg through without lifting the hands off the ground. Rising up, warrior two. Rooting down through the outer edge of the back leg. Press down through the right pinky toe. Straightening the left leg, coming into triangle pose. I've had people send me some funny photos of themselves in this pose. So I'll say your fingertips don't have to come to the ground. As you begin to tip your torso, maybe you just rest your left hand on your left thigh, pressing thigh into hand, hand into thigh. Maybe you bring it below the knee and you do the same thing. Not compromising an openness across your collarbones for trying to get into what you think is the full expression of something. Exhaling, bring your right hand to the ground. If it doesn't reach the ground, find a block, book, or something that it can rest on. And turn all 10 toes to face the front of your mat here. Walk the right hand in towards the center of the body. Bring the left hand to the left hip. Begin to twist towards the left-hand side of your mat. This is my least favorite pose in all of yoga, but it also means I have a lot to learn about my body through it. It doesn't suit my shoulder to open my hand up to the sky here, so I really only go halfway. And find somewhere in the twist that feels like your breath can flow freely through your body. Exhaling, bring the left hand down. Step the right foot forward to meet the left, feet come together. Bending the knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. Sit that bum back behind you, knees right over the ankles. And keeping the inner thighs, inner shins engaging towards each other. Lifting up through the heels here. Keep the heels lifted to the sky as you come to stand, straightening the legs. Exhale, bring heels to the ground, hands to the heart. Come to stand on your left leg, right knee rises up to hip height. Notice if when you lift up your leg, You also tuck under your hips to hang on your ligaments to find your balance here. It's a great way to never build any muscles in your butt. Instead of that, can you bring your hips right over your ankle? So your glute med, all these beautiful muscles of stabilization in your hip, hug in towards the center as you lift up a little higher. Bringing left hand to outer right thigh, twist towards the right, but press your thigh into your hand here, activating even the outer edge of this right leg as you twist. Right arm can extend to the back of your mat. And finding an ease in your breath that carries you through. Exhaling, twist back towards the front leg. Release the leg to the ground. Standing on the right leg, bring your left knee up towards hip height. And same thing here. Do you tuck under or can you heap shoulders over hips over foot? I'll give you a hint for how you know if you're doing it right. It feels harder. It feels like your muscles are working to stabilize you, but it feels better. Bring your right hand to your outer left leg. Press the leg into hand, hand into leg as you twist towards the left. Arm can extend towards the back of the mat. Keep on lifting up through the crown of the head, expanding across the collarbones. Exhale, release. Bending the knees, Utkatasana, chair pose, breathing in. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog, or taking a vinyasa here for yourself. Inhaling, right leg lifts up and back. Exhale, step it through, warrior two. Pressing through the outer edge of that left foot, straighten the right leg for triangle pose. Again, finding somewhere where you still feel long in the front and back of your body, where you don't collapse the shoulders or the back down. Maybe you bring your hands to your waist as you begin to enter triangle pose. And wherever your muscles are able to sustain, that's where you bring your arms. On an exhale, left hand comes to the ground, turning all 10 toes towards the front of your mat. Left hand comes towards the right foot. Bring right hand to the outer right hip. Try to peel your right hip towards the back of the mat as you twist towards the right hand side. Again, you might need something to support your left arm here. Maybe it's a bench, maybe it's a book, maybe it's a friend. And you can keep your hand on the waist, extend the arm out to the side. But wherever you go, keep your shoulder, or rather your arm, in line with your shoulder. So you're not yanking back on it, but it feels like it flows freely out from your shoulder. Exhale, bring the right hand down. Turn all 10 toes to the left side of your mat, coming into a forward fold. I will switch ways so my bum is not in your face. And slowly toe heel your feet towards each other and come to stand at the top of your mat. Taking our last balancing pose of the day here. Find a figure 4 with the right shin crossing on top of the left thigh, like such. And sit your bum back into that chair pose, keeping the right knee lifting up to the sky so you're not sitting down in your hips, causing a little twist in your hips like such. So keep that right knee lifting up towards the sky, widen the right bum towards the right side of your mat. Feel like your legs want to pull apart from each other as you press them in towards each other, arms reach up to the sky. Option here to bring the hands down towards the ground and hook the right foot on the outer left arm here. And it's a maybe, just maybe. If it's in your practice or you'd like to try, you can rest your right knee on your upper right arm and begin to kick the left heel up towards the bum, finding those muscles we've been activating all class. Whenever you're done, coming back to standing, shaking out the right leg, closing your eyes for a moment. Just giving a shake out to your whole body. Bouncing your knees, shaking out your wrists, shake out your shoulders. Taking a nice breath in through the nose, out the mouth. Again in the nose, out the mouth. Opening the eyes once again. Sending your weight, your energy down through the right leg. Left leg comes into a figure 4. Sit the bum back. Find all those same alignment actions on this side as the arms raise up towards the sky. Lift and widen the left bum towards the left side. Option to stay here or those hands come to the ground. And finding your little arm balance here as well. Hooking left foot on right arm to lift the right bum, the right heel towards the bum. And when you've had enough, toe heel your feet a little wider than hip distance apart, squatting down, Malasana. Or wide-legged squat. Hands come in towards your heart. And if you tend to have shoulders that love to roll in towards each other, I know who you are. Roll those shoulders back and down as you press your arms into your legs. Use this as some nice resistance to help open up across the front of your shoulders, the front of your heart. Exhaling, release the hands down. Come to sit down on your bum. And grab a sip of water if you have one near you. Coming into Navasana or boat pose. Hands come behind the upper thighs. First shins come up towards parallel. And maybe this is where you stay. Most days this is where I stay. You can spread the arms out towards a V, beginning to feel your belly engage in here. Option also to extend the legs. Maybe the arms come out to a V. But listening to the story of your body and where it needs to be today. Firing up the power of your breath to bring your belly in and back. One more breath here. Exhale, grab back behind your legs and roll your spine towards the ground as you lay your back down, And then your feet come down. Back of the hands come to touch the ground with 2 straight arms. Rooting the feet into the ground. Inhale, lift up the bum, bridge pose. Options to walk your hands towards each other and try to clasp your hands underneath your back, opening up through the spine a little more, taking this as more of a back bend. Isometrically kick your heels towards your hands, reach your hands towards your heels. And exhale, lower down. And planting your sacrum, leaving a little space at your low back. Bringing the weight onto your left leg this time. Right arm extends on the ground behind you into this half V position. Press the back of your hand and arm to the ground. If that's too much for your shoulder, you can bring it more out towards this cactus position. Basically just trying to fire up the right back of your body here. So weight on the left leg, pushing up into a single leg bridge here as you press the right arm back into the ground. Firing up the posterior oblique sling here. Synergies of muscles that help work together to stabilize across your SI joints, across your low back. Feel the front of your hips gather closer together for one more breath. Exhale, lowering back down. And switching sides, right foot implants on the ground, left lifts slightly. Left arm extends to a V by your head or into this goalpost arm. Press down through foot, press down through arm, lift up. And learn your body here. You can come to notice which side is a bit stronger, which side struggles, which side makes you emotional. And know that that's where you're holding your emotions when you're getting riled up. Exhale, lowering down. One more time each side. If you'd like a different position for your arm, you can also keep it long and press it down into the ground in front of you if it's too much on your shoulder to have it overhead. Up to you. And taking about 2 or 3 breaths on each side at your own pace. Lowering back down. Crossing left leg on top of right. Scoot your hips towards the left, drop your legs towards the right. And coming into a spinal twist. Arms are in a T or in goalposts. And coming into a twist similar at the start of class. But feeling what inside of you has shifted. Also feeling what inside of you has been resistant to shift. Can you bring your breath and attention and love into any area inside of you that's feeling taut or emotionally charged? Knowing that maybe that part of your body's holding the story of your mind. Can you invite it to open? Invite it to shift. And in doing so, can it shift your mind? On an exhale, legs come back up towards the center. Switching sides, cross the right leg on top of the left. Scoot the hips to the right, drop the legs to the left. Ricocheting between movement, chaos, and gratitude. On an exhale, rolling back onto your back. Extending the legs up to the sky. If you have a wall nearby, you could place your legs on the wall for this nice, easy inversion. Or if it's in your practice, you can shimmy on up into shoulder stand, bringing your hands behind your posterior hips here, reaching the feet up towards the sky, trying to walk the elbows towards each other. And just finding any way to get your feet up towards the sky so the reversal of blood flow happens in your body. Assisting your veins and all the pumping they do. Assisting your lymph, the movement of immunity throughout your body. And then eventually making your way into happy baby pose. Coming back onto your back and grabbing the underside of your thighs or the outer side of your feet. See if you could keep a little space at your low back. And take a nice breath in the nose, letting it out with an audible sigh. 4 more like that. Letting out any noise that comes out for 2 more. And 1. Finding any last pose that's calling out to you here before making your way down into your final resting pose of Shavasana. Allowing your body to enter into a trance with your breath. My favorite poem by Mary Oliver, Wild Geese, she states, "You don't have to be good. You don't have to walk through the desert on your knees for 100 miles repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves." Shavasana is the time for the soft animal of your body to love what it loves, to relax into its ease, and to whisper to you secrets. You're welcome to stay here, lying with your body, basking in what it loves, as long as you like. It's been an honor to be with you. Namaste.